We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We've got to add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on the Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been
Good morning, everybody. Welcome. It is Wednesday, August 3rd, and this is Coffee and Crypto Live. We're so glad to have you guys here. It is me, TA Tim, leading for today. A lot of you guys have heard Jebb made this announcement Monday, and we are all, super bummed about it. This is rough. He's gonna be stepping down in a couple of weeks, but he will be back. You have not seen the end of Jebb just yet on this channel, but he did have some family matters he had to attend to today. One of the reasons why he's even stepping down in the first place is because things like today, and I'm not going to go into details, that's his personal business, but he has to deal with things like this all the time. That's one of the reasons why he's stepping away with health and everything else. So he'll be back hopefully tomorrow. I think that's the plan. And I'm supposed to be at a conference tomorrow, but I might hang tight just in case something continues with his family issues. I might hang around, drag my feet a little bit before I head over to that conference. But today's going to be a good show, guys. It's still going to be a great show. Big stuff happening. This is another day. There are days in the crypto space where stories are not very plentiful. We are definitely not in that season right now. There seems like every single day to be more than one, sometimes up to 5 major stories breaking every single day. But we're going to focus on 2 heavily today. And that is, of course, the news coming from Michael Saylor and Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor, MicroStrategy.
You said Michael Saylor, by the way.
I know I did. I realized, but I was about to say MicroStrategy and Michael. My brain had a little
It's
fuzz
actually
there.
Michael Strategy.
MicroStrategy, Michael Strategy, and Michael Saylor. Anyway, he is stepping down as CEO or stepping up. What are we going to call that? He is going to be the chairman. The question is, what does that actually mean? Because a lot of people have kind of come of this with a more negative kind of connotation of saying, oh, he's stepping down as CEO. Others are like, no, it's not as much stepping down as it's he's stepping up and he's focusing on Bitcoin. He's going to become the chairman. We're going to kind of dive into that, and we're going to wrestle with what does this mean for not only MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor, but also for the whole Bitcoin space, as he is one of the key figures of the entire market. Also, Solana continues to have problems with another bug, and this is just on the heels of the Nomad news, where they lost $190 million. Now we have Solana being hacked due to a bug, losing upwards of $8 million. I don't know if that number's gone up, but at least last thing I saw, $8 million worth of Solana hacked. What does this mean about the future of the crypto space? We got a couple other stories too, and we're going to jump into all of that and more. But I am joined, you guys already heard from Smay, but I'm joined by T-Shroom today, back from vacation. How are you boys doing this morning?
Very sunburned. More sunburned than I deserve.
Ooh, more sunburn than you deserve. Yeah.
I feel amazing, Tim.
Amazing.
Nice.
Good.
I like that.
I was really
Michael Strategy.
Just I was really chewing on that one for a little while. I was thinking about what's a good way to incorporate my name into how I'm doing, and I said I'm doing a smazing.
Yeah. Just good stuff.
A
Thank
sneezing. If you were sneezing a lot, you'd be a sneezing. Cue laughter.
There we go. Thank you.
I got it right when he said it too.
Before we jump into your favorite segment here, Smay, I just want to let you guys know, this is Coffee and Crypto. I drank all of my coffee during the planning meeting, so I did, go get a bang. I did drink my coffee this morning, though, so if you haven't grabbed yours already, while he's reading green names, run go grab your coffee and come join us back, because we got crypto to jump into.
We're going to take coffee so much more seriously now. You know
Listen,
what I mean? I feel like we just need to, we're drinking coffee on the show.
Yeah.
Coffee is a very integral
Got
part
my
of this
coffee
entire
right
show.
here.
Did you drink your coffee this morning?
Yeah, this is 99% water, but there's some coffee in there.
We need to get, because for those of you guys who don't know, T-Shroom doesn't drink caffeine. We just need to get him on the decaf. We got to get you on the decaf.
That's easy.
Interesting concept
That's easy.
that we can explore in the
Yeah,
future
that's right.
for sure.
Decaf.
All right. Well, Smay,
So
what do you got
Tim,
for us?
I have to ask you a question.
You do have to ask me a question.
What are one of my top 3 favorite things to do in the morning?
Number one,
Yes.
Get
I
up.
assume that you like to wake up.
I really have no choice on that one.
Yes, true.
I've done it every single day. But let's just say, for instance, that, yes, that is one of my favorite things to do is wake up. I'm going to be honest with you. I rank that pretty low because I don't enjoy the feeling of waking up. It's like I feel groggy. It's not good.
Right.
But I'll tell you. Okay, let me tell you.
Number 2, though, I know for sure,
What?
is getting to drive that Toyota RAV4 into the office.
That is
Whoa.
actually, that's a good one. That's a good one. But
Yeah.
actually, Tim, you're mistaken. Number one is getting to read green names.
Well, you know.
You thought I was going to string you along a little bit longer. No, because today this is concise Smay. You get concise Smay today. So I'm going to go ahead and read some green names here. We have Mitchell, GS, Matt C, Adam Rourke. We got this guy, this weird guy. He has a weird name in here. It's called TA Tim or something like that.
Something like that.
What?
Anyways, we got who else? We got Kelly Kellum. I love Kelly Kellum, guys. I love Kelly Kellum so much. And then we got Justin Eubanks. We got this another really weird name, Shroom says Aloha. I don't know who that guy is.
Sounds weird.
We got Tyler Main. We got Sultan of Soul. We got JoJo. We got Mike Lowry. We got who else? I'm still not seeing the guy that I really like. His name starts with D. Not seeing him. He's really not showing up.
He's been slacking recently.
We got Philly Fan 61, and as Tim likes to say, Philippians 61.
Yep.
Then we have Freedom Advocate and Grand Roof Incorporated, Dennis Bizarca, a Mellow Fellow, Silent, Elion.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say that one. Agent Gold. And that is about all the names I'm seeing.
Very cool.
I love all of you guys. You guys are the coolest community in all of crypto YouTube. Take that to the bank. I really did mean that. You guys are the coolest crypto community out there, bar none. Back to you, Tim.
Yeah, I'm really excited about even growing that community because we'll update you guys. There's obviously with Jebb, leaving, and we'll talk more about this in the future. Gonna be some changes to the show. First of all, in face. Also, I'm not Jebb. And I wouldn't ever try to be Jebb. I have to be Tim. But we're really going to engage, and we want you guys to understand as a community, the reason why this will continue to be such a fantastic channel and a fantastic show is not just because of the people that are in studio. It's going to be because of you guys. So thank you so much for staying with us over here on Coffee and Crypto, and I'm excited about the future. But also, anyone was asking about Kelly. Kelly's going to be on the show Friday. So anyone who's been wondering, hey, where's Kelly been? When's Kelly coming back? Look forward to it on Friday. Don't miss the show. He'll be back on, and he told me already, he gave me a teaser. He said he's got some fantastic charts to be showing you guys. So maybe you've seen a couple of them if you follow him on Twitter at Kelly Kellum. But if you don't and you want to see him come back on Friday, Kelly will be here.
Tim, you know what I find a little bit disappointing though about the greatest community in all of crypto YouTube? They're a little bit conservative on the likes here.
They are.
You know what I mean? I do mean it. You guys are the best community, but let's get some. Let's bump those numbers up a little bit, guys. Let's get those likes a little bit higher. What do you think about that, Tim? Do you think they should like the button?
What do you think?
Like button?
I kind of expect we're probably at some point or another going to get close to about 1,000 concurrent today. And what do you think a realistic like expectation should be?
I think by the end of the show, I think a realistic like expectation for the end of the show is I'm gonna say what is the particles in the air telling me? I'm gonna say 1,000 likes.
Whoa! Wow.
I'm bullish on this.
You are,
guys. If you want Bitcoin to hit $69,000, I think you need to hit 1,000 likes. We need to hit 1,000 likes, and I will make it happen because I'm a whale. Well, actually, I'm more so I can speak to the whales. So, back to you, Tim.
We're about to jump into our market pulse, break down what is happening in the world of crypto in the news. And then we're going to do some TA, and then we're going to do our discussion section. But before we get there, I just want to make sure you guys understand, if you are not already being paid in crypto, if you guys are wondering, is that even a potential? The answer is yes. And one of the partners of our channel, one of the reasons we are able to continue to come to you guys day in and day out is because of a company called Hedge, which allows you to be paid in crypto because it connects to your company you work for, and you can get that automatic deposit straight into your wallet, your cold wallet, your exchange wallet, although I recommend more than likely the cold wallet. It can get changed directly from your pay into crypto, and you don't have to pay the exchange fees, and you can start that DCA strategy right now, making some of it in crypto. Go sign up with Hedge in the link down below. You guys have heard us talk about them before. We absolutely love them, and I hope you guys take advantage of that real soon.
They also have a cute mascot, so that's a bonus.
They do have a cute mascot.
I used to have a hedgehog.
We're
not going to get into it. Let's get in the marketplace.
Just coffee. Coffee's
concise
brewing.
May today.
It's time to jump into some crypto. And T-Shroom, I'm so glad to have you back. What do you got for us in the market pulse today?
We've got some good stuff, Tim. If you want to go over to my screen, Smay, I know it takes a lot of gas fees for you to do that, but go ahead and spend them because they're going to be well worth it. From CEO to chairman, MicroStrategy's Michael Saylor to focus on Bitcoin. What could this mean? Well, essentially what has happened is Michael Saylor, who was serving as the CEO of business intelligence company MicroStrategies, has shifted to the role of chairman. So a shift in the roles for Michael Saylor there. And he said, I believe that splitting the roles of chairman and CEO will enable us to better pursue our two corporate strategies of acquiring and holding Bitcoin and growing our enterprise analytics software business. As executive chairman, I will be able to focus on our Bitcoin acquisition strategy and related Bitcoin advocacy initiatives, while Fong will be empowered as CEO to manage over corporate operations. So really kind of taking a step toward focusing on Bitcoin. In his new role as executive chairman, Saylor will be focusing on innovation and long-term corporate strategy. Additionally, he will also act as the head of the board's investment committee to lead the firm's Bitcoin acquisition strategy. Tim, what do you think about this shift in roles? As a CEO yourself, you probably have some thoughts on this.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is definitely interesting. And there's a lot of debate out there. And the truth is, I think what we're going to do is we're going to hold this off for the discussion section. We're going to talk more about Michael Saylor and Michael's strategy because it's not clear cut. Again, some people think this is a negative move. Some people think it's a conservative move. So we'll break all that down in the discussion section. So don't go away. But I do want to know in chat, if you think this is a good move for MicroStrategy and for the Bitcoin space, hit me a 1 in chat. If you think this is a terrible news, though, if you're negative about it, give me a 2 in chat so I can know your guys' opinions. And again, we'll jump into that later on in the show.
All right. Well, moving from MicroStrategies over to Solana. Solana has slumps as Solana wallets hit in multi-million-dollar heist. And I was on vacation, but apparently there was something similar that happened with Solana. And now it's happening again. Solana is underperforming its major crypto peers on Wednesday after at least $8 million was stolen over 8,000 Solana wallets. And what I found remarkable was that over 8,000 Solana wallets have been seen at 8 million in funds drained in the latest major crypto hack. Sol was hit on the news and is underperforming in its major cryptocurrency against other cryptocurrencies. And Sol continues to hold above the 50-day moving average uptrend of support. But that's only for now. And I've actually got that chart pulled up. You can see it is still remaining above that. This isn't the moving average, but it's got some support here that it's staying above, which is somewhat promising. That it's able to be resilient through this and stay above that support. But the only thing other that I found remarkable about this was towards the end, despite the news of the hack, the slightly better tone in broader cryptocurrency market conditions is keeping Sol above its 50-day moving average in the mid-37s for now. Technicians are also eyeing a potential test of an uptrend that has been supporting the price action since mid-June. So a little bit of TA there. Again, this is kind of what I showed on my screen. But then we'll go on to an interesting optimistic note in the Solana hack story, if there can even be an optimistic note.
I don't know if this is a Solana hack story. I think this is the Nomad hack story.
Right.
Yeah.
So this was the one that happened yesterday while I was out.
Yes.
So the Nomad hack, the ethical hackers returned $9 million to exploited crypto bridge platforms. So there's kind of an image of what they could look like. Potentially, the ethical hackers who sought to secure Nomad's funding during Monday's $190 million have been returned to the funds. Those funds have been returned. Nomad says it was working with law enforcement to trace the hackers, to trace those hackers, and the white hat actors who safeguarded funds on behalf of Nomad during Monday's $190 million hack have returned the funds to a wallet address belonging to Nomad, according to a report by Peck Shield. So if you're like Tim, like what is going on here? So
yeah.
to kind of spell it out for you guys, like there was a vulnerability that was taken advantage of by real hackers, by malicious hackers, you could say. But then that vulnerability was published, or it became clear what that vulnerability is, and then these white hat hackers who consider themselves to be kind of the Robin Hoods of the space, these good benevolent actors, they go in and take advantage of that vulnerability.
Yeah.
But they hoover up all the funds, and then they just sit on it until they figure out who the funds actually belong to, and then they return it to it. So are these white hat hackers kind of emerging as the FDIC of crypto?
I don't know. And the truth is, it's really cool what they're doing. I don't know if we want to have to rely upon that either, though. And it was really cool. We're going to talk more about hacking because, of course, it's 2 days in a row of big stories in the crypto space getting hacked. We'll talk about more of that in the discussion section. But my first take right here, this is kind of interesting. This whole team, they're just dedicated themselves. They're kind of like the Robin Hoods of the crypto space, and they're going to protect people. Or I guess better way, they're like the Batmans. They're like the undercover Batmans who are going to act on behalf of the people and save people. So 9 million compared to 190 million, it's not a lot, but that's something that they saw that this vulnerability was there. They went in and they hacked it so that none of the bad guys could, saying that, hey, when we see security come back in the space, we'll give it back. You know, again, it's one of the things that we have to trust them, but at the end of the day, I mean, that 9 million would have gone to the bad guys if they hadn't gathered it. So it's like, okay, do we want these guys to be successful? I don't know. They're vigilantes. You know, that's still sketchy that they have the ability to go and hack these platforms. But I guess I'd rather them do it than the bad guys. So a lot to unpack there. It is just kind of like, you know, a silver lining on this dark cloud of the potential hacks. But, you know, we're going to talk about this more in the discussion section. I'm just going to kind of, you know, give it a little tease. We're talking about bugs here. And where have we heard that word recently that people were just really, 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 really pessimistic about? Cardano. Cardano had a bug on their Vassal hard fork, and they decided, we have a bug. This might not be very secure. We're going to go ahead and delay and make sure we fix this and do it the right way. And they got a lot of backlash. And in the last 2 days, we've had 2 different stories where bugs were involved, where it was not set up correctly the first time, and millions of dollars were lost. Are we still upset about the Cardano delay? If you are, all right, good. I mean, yay. You know, the whole point of this space is that you can make decisions for yourself. I just don't understand logically why we are upset at Cardano and Charles Hoskinson for taking a cautious approach and making sure he gets it built right securely the first time. That's just me. We can keep going on because I know there's a couple other stories in market polls.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I had a question. Had you ever heard of Nomad before?
I hadn't, but I got to do a little bit of reading on it. It works a lot with like Avalanche and a couple other projects as a bridge just to be able to transact, tokens back and forth.
Yeah. Well, those are all some stories that we're going to see the development of which to come, but some things that are right now. We have some. If you go to my screen, Smay, we actually have some Fed updates, and they said they weren't going to issue guidance. Drome at least said that they weren't going to issue guidance, but this kind of reads as guidance in a way. So Fed nowhere near finished with inflation fight. Daly says. Daly is one of the members of the Fed there. San Francisco Fed President Mary Daly said, "We are still resolute and completely united in the objective of getting inflation down around 2% inflation target." Messer, another Fed participant, told the Washington Post during a live stream event she wants to see very compelling evidence that month-to-month price increases are moderating before she can say the U.S. central bank tightening cycle is accomplished its goal of curbing inflation. So some kind of walking back this whole bullish notion that the Fed is ready to turn on a dime come September, kind of bringing a little bit of padding to that argument. When a recession isn't, this is also Mester said this, when a recession is in place, you will see the labor market deteriorate pretty rapidly, and certainly right now the labor market is very healthy, she said. My forecast for this year is that we will be growing below trend, but that's necessary in order to get a price increase under control, to get price increases under control. So again, a little bit of a change of tone here from the Fed and its participants and its voters. Mester is a voter, and I believe the Daly is a voter as well. So they're important figures here in the Federal Reserve environment. But they're kind of gesturing towards the fact that maybe that the market has taken all of this, the latest decision, and Jerome Powell's press speech a little bit too bullishly, and they're kind of coming back and saying, hey, look, we don't know when inflation's going to stop. We actually don't know that it has stopped, and therefore we're going to continue to be dedicated and aggressive in our rates. And come September, we have left it on the table to do 100 or 25, and anywhere in between. So yeah. I think the market kind of took that as, they're going to go to 25 or 50 basis points. And we're not going to see any more rate hikes after September. And that's, and that caused the markets to surge, as you've seen. But I think that the reality is that, there's still very big possibility that we could go up to 100 or 75, another 75. And you can actually look at this right now. Right now, the CME futures is showing that we would do, this represents a 50 basis point hike, and that's the most likely. This represents the 75, and that's less likely. But that has changed since last week. Last week, this was, what, 90-10, Tim?
Yeah.
Something like that. So, oh, yeah, it says it right here. Last week's probability, it says it was, this is more confusing. So, but it is.
Well, I remember
reduced.
the day after it was 90-10. So,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. Even if it doesn't say it specifically
Oh, I
there,
see.
I remember. If people went back and watched our show on Thursday, we brought it up and
Yeah.
it said 90-10.
Yeah, right here, the previous day probability. So it's shifted quite a bit, even
Yeah.
just a day. 84% said 50 basis point hike, and then 16% said 75. And then the previous week was a lot less. It was a lot more undecided, a lot more uncertain about those Fed rate hikes in September than currently. Now it became more decisive yesterday, and then has corrected since that moment of strong decision. But other than that, there's just one more brief headline we wanted to cover. Japan abandons its CBDC project, and we talked about this kind of before the show. But essentially, you know, it hasn't gotten enough public interest. So while the initial reception was lukewarm at best, the idea of a CBDC for their transactions might still grow on the Japanese public. So kind of leaving themselves a little foot in the door if they wanted to continue to do it in the future. But largely this article, and you can leave my screen now, just kind of leads the reader to believe that Japan is not going to go forward with their CBDC, which is fine. And I think the reasoning is that it's a significant economy in the world, but it's not big like the Chinese, the European, or the American economy, to where a CBDC would really be in the interest of Japan. They want to just stick with their own currency there that's not digital.
You know, in that article, it does talk about, though, like the demand. I don't think people yet see under the demand, because remember, even in the United States, you know, there's a lot of people that don't fully understand crypto just yet. They've heard it, obviously. I think at this point, most people inside the United States have heard the word Bitcoin, heard the word crypto. But I still believe it's like less than 20% have actually owned any type of crypto whatsoever, including NFTs. And then the number is believed, I think, around 3%, 4% who actually have invested in Bitcoin and are making long-term plans. So crypto is still early. I think part of that is, you know, Japan was one of the ones kind of pushing their CBDC sooner. They're saying there's not a demand right now, but that article talks about as the education comes out and more people feel comfortable with it, there's a chance that happens down the road. We shall see, though. With that being said, we're about to jump into some technical analysis. I didn't see any super chats, but in case you guys are wondering, we want to definitely be incorporating you guys, your questions, your thoughts, a lot more. So leave super chats, leave questions. T-Shroom, Smay, keep your eyes on this charts. Let's see the chat, see if there's anything good that we can discuss. But we're going to jump in and do some technical analysis, but go ahead and smash that like button. A certain individual did show up in chat, and you guys are probably seeing him comment. He was just like literally about 2 minutes too late. And if we get to 400 likes by the end of the TA section, we will say his name. I'll have Smay shout him out in chat. We do love all of our green names, all of our members. We love all of you, no matter what, whether you're a green name, blue name, whatever you are, we love you. But special shout out to all those green names.
Maybe just do another round of green name reading.
We could.
Yeah.
We could. But let's do some charting. Let's go and look at what is happening over in the world of the charts. So this has been really interesting. You know, Bitcoin kind of wrestling right here with a level that we drew the other day. I think this is based off of the VPVR. Let me pull this up and make sure that my suspicion is correct. Yeah, there's a point on the VPVR. I talked about this peak that was coming down that we could catch, and maybe, you know, I thought we were going to go down a little bit lower. And yes, we have wicks down here, but if I go ahead and pull up the Fibonacci, what we're actually really wrestling on the Fibonacci, we're wrestling with the 0.5 zone. And you're going to see on Ethereum did the exact same thing, pretty much wrestling right at the 0.5 level on the Fibonacci. And then Cardano actually went down to its golden pocket. We will see. This is going to be really interesting to watch the prices kind of continue to change over the next couple of months, really. Because right now we've kind of entered into a world where could we potentially see escalation happening over in Asia with this China-Taiwan situation going on with Nancy Pelosi? Are we going to see war break out in Asia? Is there a chance? I know that there's been some rumors that there potentially could be some money printing going on here very soon again. Of course, that would be very bullish for Bitcoin in the crypto space. In all reality, what I think that, the narrative that is continuous, it's just the circumstances have changed, is people have been talking about, hey guys, get ready for some volatility in the crypto space, on the Bitcoin space, and we're going to see that continue. Points though, as we're looking at the TA though, points to watch, and let's just keep the VPVR up here. Points to watch, I would say 23,700. You're going to notice right now we're kind of hovering right around 23.3. If we continue bullishly, and we have a wick that kind of got up to these levels close to them around 23.6, but 23.7 continues to be a key point on the VPVR and the volume profile. Yes, it says VRVP. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. Same thing though. Watch 23.7 bulls. If you're kind of trading up there, watch to see what happens. The volume has remained low, keeping this in a spot where it's like, hey, there's a lot of unknowns. I still think that there's a good chance that you need to be keeping your eyes on a fall. And the first spot I would be looking for is the golden pocket, which is another level of significance in the volume. And that is going to be sitting right around 22,100, 22,000, somewhere in that region. Keep your eyes there. The next, of course, is that we've been moving kind of in a rising trading channel. And yes, the resistance line is a little different. Some of you guys know that we had this line drawn here a couple weeks ago, and we broke through it. But when we went back and kind of explored a little bit more, this line, this level right here that we touched back in June, and then we've had two touches now with these two breakouts on July 20th, and then right here on July 30th. Keep your eyes on that line, because as I talked about here a couple shows ago, I think on Monday, this line actually has a lot of significance even historically. And if I were to back you guys up and show you that history, let me go ahead and scroll out, you're going to notice that this line has been used for several different occasions of resistance and support. And right now, Bitcoin is using it as resistance. So we got to keep our eyes checked on that. I still think, with that volatility, keep your eyes. The other thing is on the golden pocket for the pullback that we had from June, where if I were to pull up the Fibonacci from here, again, I've talked about this before, but I just want to re-clarify. We have a golden pocket sitting right around 25,400. So if we get some majorly bullish momentum, notice as this ascending level of resistance continues to climb, there's a chance that we could be meeting that up here in maybe a couple of weeks. But we also could very much come down to around 21,100, 21,200, which is close to the bottom that we had back here on July 27th. So this is one of those things a lot of people don't like TA when they hear it could go up, could go down. Guess what? It's not just TA saying we could go up, go down. Right now, the news is saying could go up, could go down. I think a lot of people expected us to dip even further yesterday after it was officially announced that Nancy Pelosi had landed in Taiwan. And instead, we dipped a little bit and then began a climb. In fact, on Bitcoin, I think it's going to be close to about 4%. About 4%, 4.1%. Other projects even had higher increases. So if I go ahead and switch over to Ethereum, Ethereum had a nice little boost yesterday as well after Nancy Pelosi's news came out. But notice we have a little bit different thing going on. Whereas we had a trading channel for Bitcoin, Ethereum is working inside of a ascending wedge, a rising wedge. And the level that I told, in our Discord, our Club DeFi Discord yesterday, I told them, hey, watch to see if we end up breaking the wedge right here, or if we bounce back up and end up coming around that mark that I talked about significance before with volume of about 17,000. If you guys are wondering what I'm talking about, pulling up our VPVR, you guys are going to see that peak right there. If I were to give you guys a little bit more of a picture and window in there, you're going to see that we kind of had this hole leading up into a peak of volume. That's why that yellow box had been drawn. Potentially, could Ethereum climb back up to those levels? I do want to remind you guys, though, just in case you guys have forgotten since yesterday's show, we talked about the on-chain side of Ethereum and how it hit an all-time high in active wallets, which is an indication of a whole heck of a lot of weak-handed retail investors having climbed into the space. After only a couple of weeks ago, it was one of the leading coins and one of the leading projects for having the most strong hands in and the fewest weak hands. That has completely shifted now into where Ethereum is actually sitting kind of high in the weak hand department. So keep an eye on what's happening there. I did mention to you guys before, I told you guys we're kind of sitting at the moment with Ethereum right in that at that 0.5 level, similar to Bitcoin. We found support right there. Its golden pocket, if it were to break down, is going to be somewhere around 15,000. But of course, if we break down that far, that would be a bearish breakout of this rising wedge, in which case I don't know if that golden pocket would be its bottom. Maybe it could find support there due to the fact that Bitcoin might only go down to its bottom there. I don't know. We have to kind of see, does Ethereum lead still? Does it do its own thing from Bitcoin? The charts are showing us there is a little bit of room to the upside, but overwhelmingly, I do think that we're going to be seeing some moves to downside. Let's pull up Luxalgo on Ethereum. I know Jebb looked at Bitcoin the other day. Let's see what's happening on Ethereum 4-hourly chart. We are under a sell signal right now, although our green trend catcher is still there. We got purple candles for the most part, so nothing confirming there. So if anyone was using Luxalgo saying, oh, is Ethereum in a good spot to short? Just because we have that sell signal does not mean it's officially over. We want a sell signal matched with red candles, a red trend catcher, and even that take profit it's giving us, which is a really cool feature of Luxalgo. It's not really saying it's going to go that low. So right now, even Luxalgo is kind of saying, hey, this is kind of a boat where anything is still possible. Let's look at it happening. We did hit our take profit for anyone who entered a long on Bitcoin. You guys notice Luxalgo called this long way back here on July 16th. We got our green candles. We got our green trend catcher. We went up. We hit that take profit. Another reason, mixed signal on the daily chart, Luxalgo is saying, hey, it might be time for Ethereum to be cooling off. Let's go check our third, favorite project. And again, it's one that a lot of you guys don't like. And I don't know why. I don't know why you guys don't like Cardano. Most of you, I think, do, but there are definitely haters out there. And you know what we say to any haters who hate Cardano? Good for you. You probably have a reason. You've done your own research, and that's what we want from you. Do your own research, establish your own opinions, and be willing to change them. That's the other big thing. Don't just sit yourself in a spot where you have previously decided, I hate this project or I love this project, and you're not willing to change your mind. Always be in a spot where even if you have a strong opinion, you're looking for a reason to change that opinion. And as long as you always look to kind of negate what your bias is, you'll keep yourself on top of making sure you're up to date with everything happening, and you will make the best decisions for yourself. However, let's start with Fibonacci on Cardano. I told you guys it was a little different. I went and drew the box for you guys, but after Cardano came up and touched its golden pocket we talked about here a couple weeks ago, where if I were to draw that one for you, let me delete this current one right here. We came up and tested golden pocket as resistance, and it's going back to this peak right here, going down to the bottom. You guys should notice that golden pocket formed right there. Sure enough, Cardano bounces off of it, so now shorter time frame golden pocket. We just use that as support again. And with that Vasil hard fork delay, the question is, do we just delay the pump that's coming to Cardano? Could Cardano be the next one to lead the spot? This happens a lot. Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Cardano take different turns leading the market. Could we see with some bullish things coming out, especially even fundamentally? Like, we talk about the news all the time. We talk about the technicals all the time. But you gotta wait for fundamental updates. A lot of people thinking that this delay to Vasil being a fundamental bearish narrative, after what we've seen the last 2 days from Nomad and Solana, I think that the concept's going to start flipping to where this delay is actually a bullish fundamental, and could that lead to Cardano earning more trust from the rest of the space and getting a nice little bull rally from it? That's going to be interesting to watch, but just notice we're now hovering right now. We kind of rejected right at 0.382 of that golden pocket. If I were to reverse this, let's say this was a strong reversal. I didn't do this on the other two, but I'll use it on Cardano, and anyone doing TA at home, you definitely use this tactic as well. Let's go ahead and say that was a top, bottom. Right now, we're rejecting on the 0.382 of this Fibonacci retracement, and we're going to find the 0.5 level, which is being significant. The other one's around 52 cents. Golden pockets being sitting around 53 cents. Keep your eyes on those marks, but potentially could we break through that, have a bullish rally, in which case we'll cover that in future videos, but that's when we start to bring back in that 58 cent prediction we've made all the way up to that 64 and so on and so forth. But I'm looking at smaller time frames right now on Cardano. Let us see what Luxalgo is saying, because those of you who have been watching our show, we love Luxalgo, we love Cardano, but that doesn't mean that Luxalgo always loved Cardano. I know while it was giving bullish signs to everything else, like out in the daily chart, it never did give it to Cardano. Still got a red trend catcher. We got purple candles going on and still under a sell signal. So daily chart has not changed its mind about Cardano. Although we are sitting dab smack in the middle of the take profit and the stop loss. So hovering here, trying to make a decision. Going down to the 4-hourly chart, let's see what Luxalgo is saying. We are currently under a sell signal here that flashed. I believe this would put us at yesterday's time. Nope, 2 days ago we had a sell signal, although we're really not doing much of anything. We have a green trend catcher, purple candle, so that's some indecision happening right there. Either way, we're going to keep our eyes here. Things can change fast. So if you guys don't have Luxalgo already, fantastic tool to keep you up to date on what's happening. That does not negate normal technical analysts. That doesn't negate doing your formation looks, doing your, looking at the RSI and what's happening here. But Luxalgo is just another window into the space to give you another tool to be able to confirm or start saying, all right, I see this happening on one chart. Is this really, really, really happening, or is it kind of a fake out? Is this kind of a thing that's like, hey, TA, a lot of these calls are 70 to 80% accurate. Could this be a 20% chance where it's not going to actually happen? That's what I love using Luxalgo for. It's not necessarily always my main indicator. It is my confirming indicator. So with that being said, I want to open it up to chat. I'm going to do some quick technical analysis on what is happening with prices on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano. Were there any questions in chat, any super chats, any comments about TA that we can answer here for a couple of minutes before we jump back into our discussion?
Yeah, I see some. We have a super chat from NMCT. Says, is ADA thoroughness the reason banks are interested in it? All these hacks are kind of making ADA really shine.
I mean, that's pretty much the point I was trying to make there, is that whereas a couple of days ago people were looking at this as almost bearish fundamentals about Cardano, I think a lot of people are looking at that and starting to change their mind. I really, really want to give projects fair shakes and let you know that even if bad things happen, that doesn't put a death sentence on them. Absolutely. Am I the biggest fan of projects like Solana? No, I'm not. And it's because of the outages that they've had, the hacks they've had. But to anyone who likes Solana, I want to give you the benefit of the doubt. They do things very quickly. And for anyone who wants speed and they want their stuff now, Solana's been a pretty good project to do that for you. That's why the price is the way it is. That's why it responded correctly. Even after being hacked, the price really didn't respond too negatively. And that just goes to show you how much its community really loves it. Great. Good. How long, though? How long before your opinion starts to change and you actually want security to be brought in? I think that's kind of something that the Solana community has kind of made clear, that security is not of the top priority for them and what they want from their project. They want speed. They want efficiency. They want it to just come out and have access to it now. Something that Cardano does not do. Cardano does not move very quickly. That was its biggest issue for the longest time, is that everyone was believing what it was going to become, but we weren't seeing anything come to fruition. So that's why I think Solana and other projects like it got so much hype, because they were actually accomplishing things. But the question is now starting to swing. How valuable is security to your crypto projects? And we've just had 2 fantastic days of boosting that, I think, in everyone's opinion. And that includes these rumors that banks are getting interested in Cardano and other platforms are getting interested in Cardano and might be switching from projects like Solana or Ethereum to Cardano because they're seeing, man, it might be time to stop worrying about getting things done immediately and start worrying about doing it the right way and securely the first time. If that's something that you love, you're probably in the Cardano community. Just going to say it. If you want things now, though, maybe you're not in the Cardano community, and that's why you're going to be in the Solana community or something else. Real quick, though, I mean, I think that's also one of the reasons why I think Ethereum's going to do really well. I think Ethereum, don't get me wrong, it has been extremely frustrating, those of us who have been in the space here for a little bit, because we keep hearing Ethereum 2.0 is making strides, but then they keep delaying. Well, what's one of the reasons why they keep delaying is because they didn't want to force it on people. I remember Smay pointed this out last year, how Ethereum's going to put themselves in a pickle where they're either going to have to delay it again, or they're going to have to make the whole system pretty stinking centralized to just go in and enforce it. But rather, I think Ethereum kind of took their time to allow the space and the nodes to make these decisions for themselves, to keep the whole platform decentralized. And yes, is it delaying them? Absolutely. Yes, is it frustrating? Absolutely. But they're trying to do it. I believe Ethereum is trying, similar to Cardano, to do it the right way in a decentralized platform way. And long term, we look back on this years from now, we'll remember, man, remember that time when we really loved all those projects that got things done really fast, but they had a lot of security problems, they got hacked all the time, they had outages all the time? Why didn't we just wait for the projects that were trying to do it the right way, the decentralized way, and make sure that the community was involved?
Well, I think the point the point is to remember, guys, is that we're still early, right?
Yeah.
Like, we talk about that from the investing perspective, but we're also needing to evaluate that from the technology perspective. We are early in the rise of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, which means things are going to be buggy. Things are not going to work great. Things are not going to be super speedy, super great, super fast. We have to let that develop over time. Just like the first iPhone was revolutionary for its time, but it kind of like sucked in comparison.
Yeah,
it's going to be the same thing. We're not even at the 10th iteration of a lot of these technologies yet. So that's something to consider. But I actually love the point you just made there, Tim. I think Ethereum gets a lot of undue crap because of the fact that I think it's being more utilized than Cardano, and I feel like Cardano has a better figurehead in Charles Hoskinson to really kind of make people buy into the mission there. But I think it's the same thing with Ethereum. Ethereum is doing their due diligence to make sure that this comes out the way that they envision it and that it works. Right. So yeah, I think honestly, I'm very excited about the future of Ethereum. I'm very excited about the future of Cardano, and I think I'll tell you what can fix Solana. You ready? They just need to be told, like a father figure. You ready? Solana, I'm disappointed in you. Anyways, back to you, Tim.
Well, I saw here in chat, I wanted to shout them out. I think it's Simon Scott. Simon, thank you so much for commenting, man. He said Solana's still in beta. And you're right, Simon, they are still in beta. And that's why I'm not ready to close the door on Solana and say that they're going to die. Like, I think I think there's even been that perceived perception on this channel that those of us here at your Crypto Jebb team, we think Solana's going to die. I think there's a chance it could, but there's technically a chance that anything could die. I think they have a lot of things to fix. And guess what? Yes, they're in beta. And yes, having some issues in beta is going to happen. By the way, I'm talking from a person we're running Club DeFi. We're having problems because we're in beta on that as well. Now, we don't lose people millions of dollars, and we don't hack your cold wallets because of our beta bugs. But, we have that problem as well. Here's what I would say to Solana. You can't use the excuse, though, that you're in beta when we're talking about people having their accounts and wallets hacked and they're losing money.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's a really bad argument.
Outages and shutdowns and you can't operate and, hey, your Solana got locked and you can't get it in and out. Don't get me wrong, that's still scary, but you're in beta. I get that. But when people are literally having millions of dollars stolen from their wallets because of the bug, I don't think that saying I'm in beta is the best defense for that. But again, I'm saying that as someone who's saying, I'm not even saying Solana's going to die. I think, yes, Solana's still in beta. Hey, Solana has a very bright future. They are very exciting. They have a great community, a very loyal community. I just think that Solana and the whole community should start raising that desire to have security a little higher on its pedestal of what it wants from its platform. And I guarantee you, if you as the Solana community, anyone who's in it, who owns Solana and still believes in it, make your voice very heard. If there's pressure, I'm sure the developers of that team will go ahead and say, all right, we got to go ahead and we got to start slowing down. Yes, we've given Cardano a hard time for going slow, but maybe we need to adopt that type of system just to make sure we're protecting all of our users. And, and Cardano, hey, Cardano's doing it the right way. Maybe, Cardano, it'd be nice if you sped up a little bit. It'd be nice if you gave us all this stuff a little sooner. But, take your time. Make sure it's done the right. I would much rather the delay go all throughout the rest of this year, but when Cardano launches everything, it has it done correctly. But that's just my opinion. Everyone's got to make that decision.
Also, if you're a trader, wouldn't you want to wait to the bull market for them to launch Vasil? Because then, I feel like that's going to... Vasil? Yeah. Basil? Basil as in the herb.
Or Vasil.
Well, I heard Charles say that he was like, he almost said it with like an F, like Fazzle.
But that's too pretentious.
I know. I'm just saying with Vasil.
But guys, what I'm saying is, wouldn't you want this big hard fork to be timed during the bull market to where it gives more momentum bullishly to make you more money? I think that's something too about being patient. It's just a side effect of being patient. But O actually made a really good comment, so I want to bring his comment in since we were supposed to be doing super chats.
Yeah.
Solana, he says Solana focusing on wrong things like cell phones instead of focusing on issues in network, and I think that's actually kind of an interesting thing. It's like, the fact that they're making a cell phone adjacent to the fact that they have a pretty skippity blockchain makes that, for me, that beta argument even worse. Is like the fact that they're willing to take all this investment and money and have people use their millions of dollars in their platform, like you just said, and getting hacked, and then they're also on the side making a phone instead of fixing that blockchain their first priority, the network. I don't know. That just feels a little cheap for me. But.
Yeah. Well, guess what we just hit? We just hit 400 likes.
Oh!
So you get to do the shout out we were waiting for earlier.
All right, guys. I'm going to shout out my favorite guy in the chat, D's Nuts. Shout out to D's Nuts.
I saw a comment from him earlier. He was like, hey, guys, if I'm ever late, just everybody else with green names, change your name to D's Nuts. So that
I just say it.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, I love it. I love it. We just had another super chat come in. I'll read this one real quick. Mike Markle said, I just wanted to take a minute to congratulate Tim and the rest of the team. I'm grateful for the community and the relationships, and I appreciate that you guys are stepping up and keeping this thing growing. Thank you so much, Mike. Yeah, that's exactly it. And I was talking with somebody even this morning, and we'll talk more about this in the future, but I really want to stress to you guys this. I want you guys to think, like I'm talking from your perspective, this is our channel. This isn't Tim's channel or Smay's channel or T-Shroom's channel, or this isn't the Coffee and Crypto channel. Man, this is our channel. Our community built this. We're going to continue to engage. I'm not going to pretend to be some expert that I'm not. I'm not an expert. I believe I'm growing, and I think that ultimately you guys have testified to the growth that I've had over these last couple years. But I want you guys to know, from my perspective, I am a student of crypto. I love crypto. I get to engage with it all day, every day, and I love it. And I want to walk alongside all of you guys in this community as we learn the rest of the crypto space together, as we invest together, as we learn together, as we adapt to new things together. That's what this is all about. So if that's something you guys love, let's go ahead and smash that like button. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. We are going to jump into our discussion section, get back into the Michael Saylor a little bit, and then we're going to talk more about Solana and the hack, because that definitely is something I think on everybody's mind, even though we got to talk about it a little bit right there. The first thing I did want to show you, I forgot, I was going to show you during the technical analysis section, so this won't be matched up with when we have our timestamps. But an interesting post today, I want to make sure you get his name right, Nazion, I don't know. Man, that's a hard one.
You were close.
Nazional.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go with it. Interesting post. You guys have seen a lot of people compare Bitcoin to Amazon. And of course, I don't really even need to fully explain, but I will. If you guys are looking at this Bitcoin chart, this Amazon chart, that's what AMZN is. We're looking very similar. And his point here is that, similar to Amazon back in 2010, we ended up having a point just like this that we rallied. And of course, you guys can see the candles go up and to the right. There's a big wick right here where we came back down and matched this same price. And remember, that's something I've talked about on previous shows. Let me go back to Bitcoin real quick. I've talked about the volume on the daily chart when we did have that big dip down to 17.6. And how I would not be surprised to see that come back into play and even potentially have daily bullish RSI divergence conform there. Going back to that tweet, we did, and this I'm assuming these are weekly charts is what it's looking like, a massive wick down. So this doesn't tell you the full story of what happened on the daily chart. Could we see potentially a V bottom on the Bitcoin chart back at these levels, but we have closes on the daily chart at these same levels that then spring us, and Wyckoff, you guys know I love Wyckoff's teaching, a very hard dip that works as a V bottom and springs us back up. We head back up. This, of course, is not taking into account what we're seeing happen in the world right now, where could we see war break out in Asia? There's still war going on in Eastern Europe. This is a very different world. However, it is interesting watching how similar these charts are. So it's something you got to keep in the back of your mind. I would love to see this chart play out this way. But in case you guys were wondering, does that mean the bottom's in? No, look at that wick. That wick actually touches about the same level, if not a little bit lower. So is that potentially on the charts? It absolutely could be. But yeah, you can go off my screen now. Let's jump back into this. Let's jump into the Michael Saylor, T-Shroom. Michael Saylor has definitely been, one of the staples of Bitcoin. Last year in 2021, he was on the forefront, but I think Elon Musk was the guy. When people thought Bitcoin and they thought, oh, who is the face of this movement? A lot of people thought Elon Musk, which is why it was so heartbreaking when he announced that he was selling some, that he had his environmental concerns. And I think you could probably name a couple names that took up the mantle of being like the face of the Bitcoin movement March. And Michael Saylor was, if not the face, one of the main faces. And there's a lot of things going on right now. So if you're watching YouTube channels or you're watching Twitter, you're going to see headlines, Michael Saylor stepping down as CEO. And then you're going to see people come in and kind of correct that and say, well, it's not that bad. He's becoming the chairman. So they're making this business move where they're kind of splitting and splitting the roles and allowing him to be just chairman and focus on the Bitcoin holdings, but no longer serve as CEO. And I think it's their president. I can't remember his name. Do you remember the name of the president that's going to be stepping up as CEO?
Yeah, I have it somewhere. No, I don't have it offhand though. Sorry.
Is it Fong something?
Something like that.
Yeah.
We'll find it here in a second. So there's kind of this wrestling point between people who are more negative and people who are more positive. Is this a good move for Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy and Bitcoin? And is him being chairman not really negative whatsoever? Other people saying, no, this is very negative. And one of those people, I'm going to bring up an article that I found this morning. So this is the author of The Black Swan. He calls MicroStrategy's CEO step down a nail in the coffin for the firm's Bitcoin strategy. So author Nassim Nicholas Taleb, he comments, and you can read this article over on Finbold if you guys wanted to, but I highlighted what I thought was most significant part because he addresses, yes, there's some debate here. Yes, people are going back and forth. Is this good or bad? He said here, when you spend your life in finance, you know that in a corporate announcement, the only thing that matters is the announcement, not the details. You don't get randomly transferred, Taleb said. And of course, on this article, it talks about MicroStrategy under the leadership of Saylor has lost $1 billion. Now, does MicroStrategy own more than $1 billion? Absolutely. Are they going to continue to exist as a company? I think so. I don't think we're talking about the demise of MicroStrategy as a business. But I don't care how big you are. $1 billion gets lost, and that is a big deal. And I think what Taleb's trying to get at right here, is it Taleb?
I think it's Taleb.
Taleb?
Yeah, I was about to say. We're just going to go with it, though.
You know, I live in America. I had a brother named Caleb. You know, okay. Taleb. What Taleb is getting at here is, hey, man, a lot of people are going to try to speculate the way they want, but the finance world knows details don't matter. If you're being replaced at a position, it means you did something wrong. And even though, whether this was Michael Saylor's decision and he was like, you know what I think what's best is if I focus on Bitcoin and replace me as CEO, or whether it was kind of a group board decision, hey, Michael, love you, man, but you lost us $1 billion. I don't think you're completely focused. What if we shifted you to chair, replace you as CEO, let him run the company MicroStrategy, and you just focus on Bitcoin? I don't know what it is. I don't think we're going to see it too negatively affect the price of Bitcoin. But for anyone who wants to say, oh, this isn't bad whatsoever, what Taleb is getting at right here is, no, this was bad. Like this was not probably a choice move for the company. This is what they feel like is best for them for the future because they have had so many problems. I wanted to throw out to you real quick, T-Shirt. What are your thoughts about this? Do you agree with that kind of sentiment? Or do you think this is them just saying, oh, no, we want to get even better. This makes the most sense. It'll really be helpful to our company.
Well, can I add just real quick a question to T-Shirt? Can you also explain to us what MicroStrategy as a company does, just for anybody who doesn't know? Because that might help.
Yeah,
with the narrative.
It looks like they do like software data analytics. So they help companies that either make software or rely on software. They help companies figure out, what's going on with their software. They have a business lens into their software to see potentially where the traffic of users is going, so they can optimize that software. And they're one of many companies that do this through the explosion of the internet. But Smay, hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah. I just because I feel like a lot of people see MicroStrategy as just the Bitcoin buying company, and it's actually a company. So I think it would be a good thing to clarify that he's stepping away from the business operations of what T-Shirt just said.
Yeah, for sure.
And we saw that recently happen with Jack Dorsey. He stepped away to focus on Bitcoin, and he handed the reins over. Now, whether that was his decision or, I think that very different circumstances, but we have seen this happen more recently.
Yeah. They help enterprises make data-driven decisions and optimize business processes. Exactly what I explained so eloquently. But zooming out, I think you have it's not a good thing. I think it's a little bit of a sour note, at least for now. I think that you'll have people comment and try to spin this positively, and there might be some more information that kind of makes me think differently. But I think right now, just kind of like what's going on in El Salvador, I think what's going on over at Tesla. I don't think folks were anticipating Bitcoin coming down this low, and so at worst, you have things like Celsius and you have things like Terraluna that just like totally got decimated by the price going so low.
Yeah.
But then you have, MicroStrategies in El Salvador who've been a little more conservative, relative to the space. They've been a little more conservative and they've been able to soldier through, so to speak. Well, the difference is that, MicroStrategies in El Salvador and Tesla, they also do other things. They have other sources of revenue. Whereas Celsius and Voyager and some of the other Three Arrows Capital, they were specifically crypto. Everything was pretty dependent on crypto prices and new crypto projects. So now it's starting to affect that outer realm. And I actually did some research really quick, and I found out that the next El Salvadorian presidential election is in 2024. And that's going to be one that's going to be really interesting. It's a ways out, to be sure. I don't know if it's in early or late or mid 2024, but I see that as kind of a similar move where obviously the board here of MicroStrategies and the C-suite, they've been able to kind of convince Michael and the other founder to try and shift roles here, and that's kind of taken place within a democratic microcosm at the top of a large corporation, which is MicroStrategies. And we're gonna and the outcome has been, remove the Bitcoin gung-ho guy and put him in another place where he doesn't have as much power. He has a downgrade in power, but not really necessarily a downgrade in prestige. He's still a co-founder and he's still in a pretty significant spot there. But what will be interesting to watch is Nayib Bukele and his role and his role shifts. As of now, if you go to my screen, as of now, he has overwhelming. He didn't just win the presidency. This is Wikipedia. He also won just like an overwhelming amount of the seats. And this is the one that matters here, the legislative body. He's got 56 of 84, so really, really good there. And then also there's this other governmental entity that I didn't know about, the Central American Parliament, which also, have a good amount of seats there. So, he and his Nuevas Ideas party, they really swept the government there in El Salvador, and it will be really interesting to see if they do it again. If they can do it again, that's extremely positive for Bitcoin. There hasn't been any corruption headlines like Nayib Bukele. There hasn't been any like, oh, Nayib is actually, he only adopted Bitcoin so that he could siphon money and launder money, on the back end. There hasn't been any of that. It's been above board. Has there been struggles? Have there been obstacles? Yes. But ultimately, like it has gone about as well as it can go relative, with the price going as low as it has. So overall, I think it's definitely not a good thing that Michael has shifted roles, but it hasn't been this dramatic, dragged out thing. The PR aspect of it, they've handled it really well. It happened, they issued the press release, and there'll be more commentary as it goes. We're commenting on it. I'm saying at least ultimately this doesn't seem like a positive thing for Bitcoin, but it's probably a positive thing for MicroStrategies to get a little bit more focused on kind of where they came from as a data analyst company. So
I think a good way to put it, I don't think it's as bad as the people who think it's terrible think it is, and I don't think it's as good as the people who think it's completely good think it is.
I agree with that.
And I think best case scenario, no matter what you think about it, I think we can all agree it is FUD. I mean, now just to clarify, because a lot of people use the word FUD as false, like that just automatically means whatever's being said is wrong. That's not true. FUD is fear, uncertainty, and doubt. True statements and things that actually are happening can bring fear, uncertainty, and doubt. So what I'm saying is, I think that this is a FUD story. Is it true? I don't know. But it is a FUD story where I think people are kind of sitting here saying, what the heck is happening? This could be bad. This could be bad for Bitcoin. Should I be withdrawing some of my money? Should I be taking some profits? Is Bitcoin about to crash? Is one of, if not the face of Bitcoin right now, is he kind of showing this is a route to failure? That's what I think is being pumped into the market right now. And again, I don't think that it's that alone. Of course, we have the Asia FUD, which again, we're not talking about facts. We're talking about what's happening right now in Asia is bringing a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Mm-hmm. And then the rumors that potentially we're going to see money printing coming back on is going to bring in some FOMO, fear of missing out. Oh no, is the money going to be printing? Should I buy at these low levels so I don't miss the big rally? You got to remember to keep your head on with all these articles and continue to monitor the space every single day because things can change like this. We've been discussing that for a long time. For the longest time, it seemed like, yes, there's still a war going on in Europe, but it's, we've kind of handled that already. Yes, we have some high inflation, but hey, we're used to it. We're addressing it. All of a sudden, we just got hit this week with a bunch of new factors that we have no idea how they're truly going to impact the crypto space. So if any of you were thinking, man, crypto's getting kind of boring, I'm going to tune out and kind of come back in here in a couple months. Things just got very interesting, and this is not the time to be leaving the space of paying attention to what's happening. Every single day, we're going to probably see things grow. I'm not going to be surprised over the next couple of weeks and months to see multiple green candle days, and everyone thinks that Bitcoin is just rallying and everything's great, followed by multiple red candle days, and everyone thinks we're going back down and we're going to set a new low, and followed by green candle. I'm very much expecting some major volatility happening as the market is being pumped right now with a lot of FUD and a lot of FOMO. This does not seem to be, I don't necessarily think we have to hit a new all-time low, or not all-time low, hit a new low just in general for the short term, but I also don't think we're rushing to set any new all-time highs anytime soon either. There's just too much volatility of news going on for the price to make any type of certain movement that's consistent. So keep in the loop. That is what we have for today. A couple announcements though. I do got, as we're closing this out, I mentioned this earlier. Anyone who's in Club DeFi, thank you so much for continuing to be in the space. I know there's been a lot of confusion. So in light with everybody else in the market right now, we had a bug. Our website had a bug. It's not letting people sign in, and it's super frustrating. Just so you know, though, we do have a Discord where we make announcements every single day. If you are in that Discord and you still don't know what's going on, go check the Discord. We have announcements. We set up all the videos in a Teachable account that you guys can get a code to access. No charge to you. That's going to go with your subscription already. But you got to be in Discord to get that information. If you are not in Discord, or if you want to get into those videos, make sure you email our support team, support@cryptojebb.com. We can get you in. Here is the good news. Our bug has not hacked anyone's wallet. Our bug is not stealing millions of dollars from people. And we're in a race right now with Solana to see who can fix their bug first. So if anyone from Solana team is watching, hey, start now. Who wins first? Who fixes the bug first? If that is you guys, if you are struggling with your Club DeFi account, thank you so much for your patience. Again, email our support team and we will get you hooked into the videos. We're still having office hours. We still have that Discord. Make sure you sign up for that Discord and you will still get access to those videos. And that website will be up and running smoothly, hopefully very soon. Again, race against Solana. Let's see who wins. With that being said, I think that's all we have for today's video. Is there anything I'm missing here, Smay?
Yeah. You're missing how much that I love and appreciate you, Tim.
Wow. Thank you, Smay. I love it. I love it. I love and appreciate you too as well. All right, we still have, even though there's been some.
Did you just say you two as in us two or me?
You too as in UTOO.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I love T-Shroom as well.
I was going to say, I love T-Shroom as well, but this is about me.
This is you and me. And there's been some violations to our alliance.
There has.
But we are still working to make this work.
We're mending our relationship, where a lot of things are changing here. We're going into a new season of the channel, and me and Tim are really working to mend our relationship. We're going to try to have more of an alliance and be on the same page. So
listen, I'm not going to let an old lady coming in between us make us not have good relations.
Absolutely.
China, U.S. China, U.S.
Nancy Pelosi.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, what old lady? And I'm really confused.
I'm just making sure you know. We're gonna make this alliance work.
Were you guys beefing about that?
Yeah.
A little bit.
That's all we have for you guys in today's show.
Nancy!
That's all we have for you guys in today's show. We love each and every single last one of you. There will be an afternoon video coming out this afternoon, and then we will be back tomorrow. Hopefully Jebb is back, and that is the plan at this point. But if not, Coffee and Crypto will continue to move on. Thank you each and every single last one of you for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.